And I think that's one of the big questions I have and a lot of people have about this Flyers goaltending is like, can Sam Ersson be a 1A? I feel like he's ideally a 1B. We've seen those stretches of play last year from like November to February where he was on par with Hellebuck. We've seen him have good stretches this year, but the injuries are tough. And like, I don't know. It's also tough, like you said, to evaluate goalies playing behind bad teams.
Yeah, I mean, to measure goaltending on just raw numbers is really difficult because all teams are not created equal. What's in front of them, like Kevin Woodley, my buddy from In Goal Magazine, and covers the Canucks out in Vancouver for NHL.com, always says goaltending does not happen in a vacuum. You are a victim of your circumstance and what's around you. And I always point back to the two goalies that were playing in New York for the Islanders in Doug Waite's last year. It was Grice and Halak. And they gave up the most goals in the league that year. And they were, these goalies stink. They can't stop a beach ball. They fired Doug Waite. They hired Barry Trotz. They came back the next year. They shaved 102 goals off year to year and gave up the least and won the Jennings Trophy. Same two goalies, basically the same exact team, minus Tavares, mind you. And they won the Jennings because Barry Trotz's system and environment for the goaltenders was so much more predictable for them that they had a better environment. They saw less high danger chances off the rush because Trotz's system didn't allow for that, where Doug Waite's did. So that tells you kind of how much environment matters. I remember Robin Lehner said too, his save percentage was down from, I forget when he went from Buffalo maybe to Vegas. And he said, to Chicago. And he said he's playing way better in Chicago, even though his numbers were lower, but he's facing way more high danger chances. He's like, I've been way better, even though the save percentage and goals against average was lower.
I'm forever mad at the entire NHL for letting the Islanders get Barry Trotz. That was painful for a few years there.
Now the Predators are going, what is he doing as a GM? Can he just be the coach, right? People were lauding him in the offseason. I didn't see it.
It's not looking good right now.
No.
Yeah, this is a conversation for a different night, but I wonder if that potentially changes how the Flyers view Torts going to the front office, if that's still a plan, like seeing a great coach like Trotz go to the front office and not do so great. I mean, they're playing better now. They could have a better runway, but the Predators.
Torts going into a front office role here wouldn't be a decision-making role. It'd be an advisory role at this point in his career. Mm-hmm. He has no delusions of being the GM. You have the GM, you have the president. I think he'd be, like a senior advisor if that were the case. If they decided to do that, and I think a lot of that would depend on who the replacement was too, for him to hand the baton to. If Mike Sullivan's available and that's who they went with, then that's an easy transition, I think, for Torts.
Mike Sullivan,
be a no-brainer.
Oh yeah, that's a dream there. Getting Sullivan in.
Well, he's going to be fired, right? I mean, Pittsburgh's they got to move on somewhere, somehow, some way.
Oh, you'd hate to see it. You just hate to see it all just get dissolved like that.
I mean, Dubas didn't hire him, so want to get his guy in there, whoever that might be.
That's always a big factor with a newer GM is you want to get your guy in there and really establish your trademark as, the guy running the team right there. Yeah. Now, I just wanted to backtrack a little bit. You were talking about Trotz's system when he went into the Islanders and everything. And Torts has a very interesting system that he's running in Philadelphia right now. High emphasis on shot blocking. You see the shot blocking totals. You see Nick Seeler getting banged up every game. And how much of an effect do you think that system has on the current goaltending state of the Philadelphia Flyers?
Shot blocking, controversial subject in goaltending circles, because it can be your greatest bailout button or it can be your worst enemy. We saw it in the last game, as a matter of fact. We saw it twice. We saw when Jamie Drysdale scored a hit off of an opposition defender, changes his trajectory. And then there was a Flyers goal against that Nick Seeler got a stick on, and it ended up beating Fedotov high blocker when it was a shot that was ticketed for low blocker. When that changed its direction, it was the Bedard goal. You have no chance to catch up to it. So shot blocking is great when they get all of it, but when they redirect it, it's a problem for a goalie because it obviously changes the quality of the shot chance. And a goalie will tell you, if it's a clear-sighted shot, just get out of the way. I'm in all this big equipment for a reason. You're just messing me up. You're either screening me or you could potentially change the direction of a shot. So there's there's positives and negatives to it. Now you will see in the playoffs, though, the teams that block the most shots tend to move on because you need that kind of sacrifice to get through really tight playoff hockey. I think the benefits of it outweigh the negatives if the team does it properly. Like I saw Mishkov try to block a shot on that 3-on-2 chance, and I'm going, I love where he was. I love how he positioned himself in the play, but he's got to learn how to block a shot. Do not turn to the side or your back. You don't have padding back there with Holmes. Shin pads forward to block a shot. Because I don't want to see him breaking a calf bone or something like that, trying to block a shot like that. But it is one of those things for a goalie where you appreciate it when it works out, but when it doesn't, you're like, Jesus Christ, just get out of the way and let me get it.
Of all the people, we don't want anything happen. No, definitely not.
Yeah. I remember that being a big thing for Briz, not wanting to see shots. I think it was when he went to, or coming from Phoenix or Arizona or whatever they were then. Like he wanted to not have the shots blocked and
get out of my way.
Yeah, I forgot if it was Kolosov or Fedotov or potentially both of them. Like, do you think that's something that they can learn with Torch's system, or are they even NHL goalies? Like, I don't even know if they're worth talking about at this point.
All good questions. I think the biggest thing those two have struggled with is traffic, and finding eyes on puck around traffic at release points. We've seen several times this year in the NHL. They throw you so many screens and layered screens. This is the big thing. And the more you can layer a screen with both your players and the opposition defender makes it even more difficult for players to look around screens. And look, there's elements of shot blocking, especially where you, like the goaltender will say, if it's on the right side, my right side of the ice, my blocker side, I want you trying to block that shot to the middle of the ice, to my left. I want the lane to be able to see the puck on the short side because the shortest distance for the puck to go to the back of the net is on the short side. Plus, there's more traffic in the middle of the ice. Now I can cheat a little bit on the short side because there's so much traffic for the puck to get through on the long side. And if they miss it, it's a rim and out, right? So you want to have that communication between your goaltenders, your defensemen, and your system from that standpoint. But yeah, those two players have struggled a ton with dealing with traffic. And I'll go back to another Islander goaltending. When Varlamov went back during the shortened season and played over in Russia, he said this was already a seasoned NHL goalie that went back and played over in the KHL and then came back again. He said it took him a half a season to get used to the traffic in the NHL again. Because over there, they just don't have it. Guys don't crowd the net. The rink's bigger. They're more spread out. They dilly-dally around like ice capades. And in the NHL, they can get the puck to the net at any time in the offensive zone. We've seen the concentration issue with both of those goaltenders not being ready for a chance against because they're on the outside. They didn't feel threatened. In the NHL, you're threatened there too. And then also dealing with traffic and how you look around it. Seen Fedotov at times look over it. He's a giant. I get it. But as soon as a player sees a goalie go up, they're shooting along the ice because they know your inertia cannot get you down in time with the way they shoot. So,
and especially with that height. I mean,
his head's scraping the scoreboard.
Right. I mean, it's just that much more mass to go down quickly.
Yep.
It is an actual problem for him. And it's funny because when you think big goaltender, you're like, well, he's just going to crowd the net. I can't see an issue with that. The bigger, the better. But given how goaltenders played in the modern NHL, speed is such a factor. And his time getting up from looking over those guys to getting down is such a big factor for him.
Yeah, and we've seen him just on low goals. We saw one last week. I think it was the Washington game where he just got beat on a pretty sharp angle along the ice just because he didn't get down in time. He's just too high up and not spread far enough to steal the bottom of the ice. There was no option for the player to go upstairs. He was being attacked off the wing by Sanheim, and I think it was McMichael that beat him on that goal. And yeah, the big thing for goalies in today's game too, the reason like Ryan brought it up, save percentage is way down in the league. Why is it way down? Well, teams don't waste butterball shots anymore. They just don't throw pucks to the net and clear sight. It's all about quality over quantity. And quality is cross ice. That's a huge element to adding more danger to any opportunity if that puck crosses the ice for a one-time attempt. So lateral movement is more important than ever. And in your lateral movement, the technical elements of keeping your elbows in, no holes as you move laterally, that's why they want to make you move laterally, because everything opens up, right? You open your legs, you open all these holes, and you got to get them closed before the one-time shot. And in today's game, lateral move, that's why you see guys like Shesterkin, Sorokin, Bobrovsky, all these goalies that move incredible laterally are the most successful. Hellebuck is great down low and lateral. You know, those guys that are explosive like that. Fedotov is not explosive. He looks like a baby giraffe sometimes. You know, like when they come out with the long legs. And
yeah. Like the way I've had it explained is like, yeah, he's big, but he's not just moving side to side like a bubble hockey goalie. Like he's turning, and with his size, it's hard for him to turn and get set with all that movement in front. So being big can help if you're square to the shooter, but I don't know if it's just Fedotov playing so much in Russia and not being used to the traffic, if that's something he can't learn now at age 28 or so.
I know he's 28. To me, that's beyond development years for a goalie. So that can you develop now at 28? I mean, look, Chikmanicka over here at like 29, 30 and adjusted and was great for a while for the Flyers. But I don't know. We're a year in now to Fedotov. He came over about a year ago, right? And he's played a decent amount, still not a ton, but just haven't seen any improvement on dealing with the lateral plays in the NHL, the low to high play. I think he struggles with too. And then the other thing is obviously, you know, just looking around traffic and dealing with it. You'd think a guy of his size would have no problem being able to look around traffic, but there's a lot of elements to it. And, you know, having never seen it before, now seeing that at 28, I just don't know that you can adjust to that now at this point in your goaltending career when all the developmental years are surely, I think, behind you.